Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. We're here to take you around the industry and back in under an hour, around an hour, we should say. I'm here with some awesome co-hosts. I have Huda, Biggie Poppins, Gifted. We're going to talk about a lot of breaking things here, a lot of shrapnel things, Illuvium things, so some gaming leanings, but we also have a lot of other sectors to get our hands on today. Let's go around the box. Huda, what's up, brother?
Good morning, guys. GMs, how we doing? Everyone's good, I hope, right? Yeah. Market's looking pretty damn solid. Like I look at the market every morning, right? I'm looking at sales, but I like other numbers more than sales. I like unique buyers. I like total transactions. I noticed today that they're up pretty significantly from the beginning of the month. Like the beginning of the month, 200,000 transactions per day or so. We were over 300,000, I think, yesterday. And that's a great sign. We need to see that. Same with buyers, up like 20,000 yesterday. So again, like, we're heading in the right direction, regardless if sales are kind of throttling back from where we were at. So things are looking good. And like you said, there's a lot of news to talk about. So just excited to get into it all.
Yeah, and Huda talks a lot about the news here. This is right on the Crypto Slam website here. This is 5-minute inside NFT bit, correct? I want to drop this in chat as well.
Yeah, man. Every morning, 5-minute update. I mean, just kind of a perfect way to start the day. Today, I did a little coverage on one of your nightly recap segments, right? Like the tweet thread you put out. So you did you cover it all perfectly. It gives me a lot of good content to review. So I used your grapes little segment there and talked about the grapes token drop. So you guys are helping me too.
Check it out.
Oh, look at that. Hey, we made it, mama. We made it.
All right, Biggie Poppins does have to run here in kind of the middle of the episode. Don't like freak out if you see Biggie leave. He didn't get rugged or anything. He's got his own content to be producing these days. Biggie, what's up, bro?
Dude, stoked, man. Stoked to be here, dude. Lots of things happening. I don't know, man. Oh, dude, you got the spin drift. Right on. Dig that. Dude, yeah, lots to talk about. I'm really enjoying like diving into this area where I'm no expert, but just like seeing the whole gaming meta happen right now, which I know we're gonna dive into right now. It's so much fun. You know, it's like NFTs, gaming. It's just a much better space than this fucking farming that I know we're gonna have to talk about. It's a noble profession, I know, but you fucking DJs need to like stomp on the fucking brakes with this shit. It's just too much.
A noble profession, he says.
What could you be talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if noble profession is what I'd call it, but hey.
All right,
nice of you.
We are sharing out the episode here, trying to get as many folks in early as possible. If you guys could leave a like on X, YouTube, all that good stuff, we see you out there supporting us. Definitely helps to get y'all to leave that like, though. Okay, what do you got?
Oh, I highly recommend. Yes, it's San Pellegrino, but it's flavored. Very, very good to make like sweet tea and stuff like that. Put a little bit of rum in it. This one doesn't have rum.
It's okay, good. A little tequila with the spin drift, a little Pellegrino with the rum. Okay,
man, it's Wednesday.
These guys are crazy. For the weekend, I'm not doing that right now. I'm just saying. You know,
I'm not criticizing. I love that we're all building our lives, living our best lives, the way that we want here. That's what this is. To me, if nothing else, you know what, all the stress and anxiety of like trying to figure out how to exist and live in this space, I have to bring myself back to the gratitude of the point that like I have an opportunity to try and live my life the way that I want. Not everything goes the way that you expect, but like shit, man. I don't have to go sit in a, dead, soulless corporate box every day. I get to hang out with y'all. Like, there's that. If I want to, I can go pour myself some fucking wine right now on a fucking 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. I'm not going to, but I could. I fucking could.
Okay, vibes are high here on NFT Live today. Gif, you had a GM Web3 morning show to host before this. Any takeaways that you brought in from that convo? I know the title of the room was about crypto advice, but we talked on a ton of different things, man.
Well, we're not financial advisors, but we like to LARP sometimes. It was a fun show. It was a good show. I don't know if there's any big takeaways other than I'm actually okay. I'll say this, Biggie Poppins, always bringing in great stuff. He brought in an awesome interview from Pac-Man yesterday that I'm literally going to go back and like re-listen to the second half of it again. And I have more perspective on what he's doing, how he thinks, and more respect for it. I'm not saying that I think like Blur didn't create some negative feedback loops and all that shit, but at least I have a better understanding of Pac-Man and how he operates. Great interview. I also like I'm thinking a lot more about like Frank the Gods, and you brought up something that I've been thinking a lot about, which is like whether or not all of his different tactics are still working the same, or like there's a lot of FUD and negativity in the community. The guy continues to keep himself and these projects in the spotlight. Like we can't stop talking about this dude, and there is absolutely a lot of value in an attention economy for what he does. And so the more that he keeps showing up, that he keeps not shying away from the spotlight and trying to iterate and learn and evolve, the more bullish I become on where they can go. And I think, while I don't think that they're super clear, and I don't think he's been the best leader, he's a young dude, and I think he's figuring it out in real time, creating an awesome case study that I think is literally going to be the type of shit that gets written up in like Harvard economics case studies in the future that people study. You know what I mean? Like I really do think that we're getting to watch this young entrepreneur learning how to become a leader in real time. And that I think is actually going to be tremendously valuable. The last thing that I'll throw in here up front is I got to shout out Ricky fucking O'Donnell. Dude picked up like 46 coffins. He generated 46 coffins last night, which is absolutely insane. I've never met this person in real life. These are just a couple that I handpicked that I think are absolutely beautiful that he generated. But yeah, 46, almost 50 in one go. And he's already generated several others. So just have to shout out Ricky O'Donnell.
What's the total? What does that bring us up to right now?
Almost 850, like 847 or 846 have been minted. So yeah,
1,000, dude. I guarantee. That's awesome.
I hope so. But yeah, shout out Ricky. Never met you in real life, but much love and respect to you, sir.
All right, another artist that we've been talking about here on the show, I just wanted to give a brief shout out to because it was on my timeline as we went live. G was trending on OpenSea right next to Sugartown Oris. So
let's go.
Having some community wins here up front. X-Men, Inside NFTs, Prodigy, Squashman, DP, Cats Fanatic, Decryptolorium. Thank you guys for showing up early. Again, we are in the midst of sharing out the episode as much as possible. Just got started. We only have Biggie for a little bit longer, so we're going to dive in just a moment.
One quick anecdote to add to the AXO momentum or just good signs is I had a collector hitting me up in the back channels asking me like what I would sell my white gray one for last night. So just know that like it's a good sign when people are trying to like OTC you for your rares or something on a collection.
$1 trillion, sir.
Yeah, well I did not paper hand it to them. I did not.
Secondary is what now? It's 0.08.
It's double. Dude. It's 2x right now. I really do think it's undervalued. I haven't gone in to see, but I visited. I'm making it a point to go visit and see what goes on the market, because there are some. I feel like I locked out and I bought mine on secondary, but it's a fantastic piece of work. If you're going after the dynamic meta. Motion meta, this is interactive too, which is I find really, really cool, because it's a piece you can visit and kind of congregate with every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 0.07, 0.08, so it's up a little bit so far. Again, I think it's still very affordable and undervalued, like Biggie is. Like I may even buy another one at this price, because I just think that Jiwa is one of those artists. Like, dude, Kim Asendorf came in and hung out with us when he was talking on our stage. Like he is embedded into the generative art movement. And this is his first big art drops project. And I can tell you, as somebody who's been collecting his other art, this is a massive step up. Like this is his next level, this project. It is phenomenal. So
I didn't realize it's interactive, by the way. That's super freaking
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Damn.
very interactive.
Yeah, we got to do it on the show. Okay, we are actually getting a ton of questions about Illuvium and a couple of these others that we want to dive into right up front. So we are leaning into gaming a little bit today. Here's the episode, by the way. I'm going to drop it in the chat. If you guys could go to X and reply and like, retweet, if you want to hit it all and you want to add Portal, by all means, add the freaking token ticker Portal, whatever. But yeah, we do have Illuvium. We've got Jerry Saltz versus Refik Anadol round 2. So we're going to ding that up. Shrapnel lawsuit we're going to get into literally right after this. And Oni Force Fortnite event. A couple other things I've got on my radar. X copy. We got Parallel in some pieces here. Inspected a big raise as well. And of course, my co-hosts have a ton of others. So let's get into the disclaimer, Gifted. And then Huda, I'm going to send it over to you for any type of market insight you have from Crypto Slam or anything like that. And then we're going to touch on Shrapnel and Illuvium.
Yes. The one and only law here in Web3 is thou shalt not speckle. Y'all know what it means, but we got to say it. We got to remind everybody for your safety and for ours. This is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. All of this information was found publicly on the interwebs where we live here. The interwebs. It's all public domain. And these are just the opinions of us here on the Web3 network. Always do your own research. NFA. Thank you.
All right. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Huda here. Huda, for those people that are uninitiated, what's your role over there with Crypto Slam? And then let's dive into a little bit of the data that you're looking at.
Yeah. So my role in excuse me, geez, NFT strategist at Crypto Slam. It's a funny title. It's just like a lot of people got this title of NFT strategist when we started in the NFT space very early on. So I just do a lot of analyzing the data. I kind of study the markets and I study it with this cross-chain perspective because that's what we do at Crypto Slam. We're looking at the cross-chain NFT ecosystem. So I'm looking at it every day and I'm looking for patterns and I'm looking for trends. And I'm certainly seeing some, like I mentioned at the very top here, sales again, kind of calming down from what we saw just a couple of weeks ago. If you click, do you see where it says NFT sales volume right there at the top middle? If you go in there, that's bringing us to all the cross-chain numbers here. So it's daily sales sales volume. Scroll down a little more too. And you're going to see our unique sellers, unique buyers, total transactions. I like seeing buyers and transactions because we've been talking about this and you guys have seen NFT stats talking about it. All those sales, well, it wasn't a big group of people buying. And you guys probably know a lot of us weren't trading during that time. Something's slowly starting to change now. I'm starting to see my friends get a little more active. I've traded a couple things here and there, and we need to see that. We need to see that continue to pick up. But yesterday we definitely did. So saw like 300,000 transactions. There were only 200,000 at the beginning of the month on certain days. Buyers was up, I want to say like 30-something% as well. So the market heading in the right direction for sure. I love it. Those are my favorite metrics. There's something else that I think is more important than all of that, and that's the value of NFTs and of the NFT market. If you don't mind going to forecastlabs.xyz, I'll show you this because it's really cool. Actually, there it is at the top left, that Forecast 500. That's an index, right? Think of like the S&P 500 that measures the value of the stock market by measuring the top 500 companies, basically. That's measuring the value of the NFT market. This November, we are seeing the best performance for the NFT market in terms of value ever, guys. So previously, the high was January. Market gain is something like 17.5%. We're at over 22% right now for November. In 1 or 2 days, what is it? The month end tomorrow. If we hang on to it, then again, the best performance we've ever seen for the value of NFTs this month. So it's a really great month for NFTs. It feels like it's going to continue. We've found maybe our floor last month, and we're just kind of climbing from here. It's good stuff, guys.
I'm trying to find the Forecast Labs website here. I also want to bring up Tur Demister, who formerly I was like really all about this guy. And now I'm just really, based on his comment yesterday, just not a big fan. But I'm going to try to bring this up here on the show. Guys, do me a favor, hop in while I bring this up.
Yeah, well, first of all, I have to acknowledge Prodigy's fine PFP over there. You're looking good, sir. Yeah, looking amazing. It looks like also Squash is over here saying that Ubisoft just released details on their free mint, but it might already be too late to be eligible? Which if so, like fuck. Like
there was no time to even become eligible. Well, you could enter your email address on the site, so I wonder if that was it.
I did. Like, did you? Because I did, and I went
to your wallet.
Yep, and connected my wallet. I don't see any eligibility crap whatsoever, but I'm a little bit pissed. I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay. Now you got me searching my email here.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick to cap off this analytics discussion, because I think Huda brought in a lot of great points on why we're kind of trending in the right direction. This is a great example in a very Jerry Saltz-esque manner of someone kind of that's outside the ecosystem that maybe doesn't even want to see the ecosystem succeed.
No, they don't.
Is a huge Bitcoin maxi, by the way. The novelty of NFTs on ETH is wearing off, just like all the previous novelty and products from the Ethereum novelty factory. He handpicks the chart that shows OpenSea monthly volume, and of course that is a healthy indicator of the entire NFT space, guys.
Oh man, all right, where to start? First of all, the choice words of calling like Ethereum, like reducing Ethereum to a novelty factory, shows his bias very clearly. If he's a Bitcoin maxi, there you go, it's right there. But also I think it's fun to like the response that we got on GM-Web3 of people being like, yeah, we are, like, that's part of what's great about Ethereum is it is a novelty factory. That's where you go to innovate and create awesome new applications and experiment with really cool new products, because you can't really do that very much on Bitcoin. And hey, you know what's funny is that now Bitcoin's actually trying to do that and be more like Ethereum. Just remember that Ordinals is an attempt to do what Ethereum's been doing well and does better. Just don't forget that. Bitcoin maxis.
The good take. It's exactly right.
I actually really like the Forecast Labs piece here too, because what Tur is not accounting for again is multi-chain as well. And is that what Forecast Labs is kind of showing off here?
That's exactly.
He's not even, dude. Real quick, he's not accounting for multi-chain. So please hop in on that in a second. But he's also not even accounting for multi-marketplace.
Yeah. It's OpenSea. Yes. All right, jump in and talk about this multi-chain piece and Forecast Labs.
I mean, like you guys have seen, I think before we were all very focused tunnel visioned on Ethereum, and rightfully so, because that's where most everything was happening. Of course, on Solana too and Polygon, but it was mostly on Ethereum. And that's really starting to change. And that's why tools like this are important to measure that broader NFT ecosystem. Because if we didn't have these tools and we weren't measuring those chains, guys like him, they would never see what's going on. He could just put in a little extra time and do the proper research to see that we are actually growing. We're just kind of growing outwards. And that's the best way to grow right now for us.
Oh, Huda, come on. You know, we're in a post-research world. Nobody's trying to take time to go look at facts or data. That's not what this game is about. This game is about being as contrarian and provocative as you possibly can and get your hot takes out there before anybody else. That's what the algorithms are rewarding. So just remember that when you try and bring your data and research around here. So.
Right? It doesn't sound anywhere near as cool to say we're healthily gaining value, guys. I mean, like that's just a shit headline. So I get why he's doing what he's doing, but it's garbage. You're right.
All right, we're gonna hop into the first story here of the day, and that's gonna be the shit show that was Shrapnel and that ecosystem for the last 24 hours. If somebody can find the original post, GIF, if you can find that original post by the guy who basically broke the story, that Shrapnel had, so the Shrapnel team had to file a lawsuit, which basically brought some dirty laundry that was happening behind the scenes to the forefront. Because once you file that lawsuit, you gotta basically air it all out. And it's
a hostile takeover attempt, right?
In this, basically, yes, I believe so, and we still have to wait to get details, and that's kind of the reason why everyone's up in the air with where all this stuff is going. But you can see TLDR here: hostile takeover in progress by the majority shareholder. He replaced the CEO Mark Long. He is refusing to issue shares to investors as that would lose him a majority share. He is trying to use company funds to pay off $4.5 million in debts. 6 of the current founders are suing to gain control. Jeez. Now, that as a headline by itself is really fucking scary. And what you saw was a run to safety, a flight to safety into just ETH or into whatever token is on the other side of both the Shrap token, which is AVAX or USD, and on Blur and OpenSea with the Shrapnel operators that have been performing really well. So I'm going to show both of those assets off. Guys, as we break this down, and you jump in and let me know your thoughts on this whole scenario.
God,
It sucks.
Yeah, it's. I don't even want to know what people, like building Web3. It's already hard enough, and then having partners and going through the bear and starting to gain momentum, and then have somebody just do you like that. I don't know, man. I'd be enraged.
I have a personal anecdote that's not nearly on this scale, but it's kind of similar. And that's that when we were launching our first Nifty Castle project, DBs, we tried partnering with this dude who is, seems on paper, like when you go Google him, seems like this really legit art collector, investor, tech entrepreneur guy that wanted to be like a partner with us and help us launch the project. And he ended up basically trying to steal our IP and then extort us for money. Like literally in like the week or two before we were trying to launch. And it was miserable, man. It was honestly one of the worst experiences of my fucking life. It was horrible. And so as a founder trying to launch something that you pour your heart and soul into, you work so hard on, and then have somebody who you think is a friend who's trying to help you on this mission, literally just try and take advantage of you, extort you, fuck up your launch. Like he was literally threatening to DMCA us on our own IP and have our collection taken off of OpenSea if we didn't pay him like extortion money. It's like fucked up that people do this type of shit. But that's what I see here. Like he knows that right now they're in this like very important time. They're ramping up for launch. And he's trying to take advantage of that situation right now. And it's fucked up.
Yeah, here's the response from the team. For legal reasons, we cannot comment on ongoing proceedings. However, our players, creators, and the wider community can rest assured that we remain fully in control of the development, funding, and operations of our groundbreaking AAA first-person extraction shooter and remain focused on delivering our early access gameplay launch in the coming weeks. Okay. I'll show you off the token and a couple different things here. I will say, right when this story hit, we're exposed to Shrapnel. We've been telling you guys about Shrapnel. And hopefully you guys are all right out there, and everyone has their own way to deal with this situation. But personally, I'm calling GIF. I'm calling Mike Finch. I'm calling guys who have bought into Shrap. I'm calling the team, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So I can't say much here, but the TLDR, and you see it on this announcement, is that this has been going on for a long time behind the scenes, and the lawsuit itself is what made it public. And that's where people picked up on it, and that's where you get the FUD news. There's still a possibility, a non-zero chance that something could be bad here for Shrapnel. But you do see a pickup in the token. So I'll open the floor again as I show off the performance. Go ahead.
I want to say I think we're all fuck. This is not good for me.
All right, here's the token. By the way, this is the drop. 20 cents to about 16, 15.
Well, so look, to be clear, we are all very much rooting for and believe that they're probably going to come out of this okay, that they have a good product, and that it doesn't seem from like what we know that the team is actually being like railroaded from the work that they're doing to launch the game. So we're all very much kind of looking at this as a potential opportunity to maybe get in again. But there is, to your point, it's just very risky. It's just a reminder of how fucking risky all this shit is, because there is still a non-zero chance that like this can really derail them in some way. If this lawsuit is drug out, if it doesn't go as well as you think, like we don't actually know how bad that could get. But the fact that 6 of the founders had to basically go to court right now means that it is a serious situation. It's not like just it's whatever.
Okay, Biggie, Huda, jump in here. Any thoughts on this Shrapnel piece as we go on?
I mean, these things happen not just in Web3, right? Like everywhere. There's Scooter Browns everywhere in the world, right? Like, and I really, it doesn't faze me too much. I think, like, especially after seeing what they've delivered so far, what you've been showing us here, Q. Like even this guy who's trying to obviously take over. Nobody wants to take over a dead project. So at some point, I mean, I think there's going to be some resolution, and obviously, there's some people that are no longer going to be friends. Having said that, I mean, look at this; it's phenomenal. I remain bullish, so we're just going to have to weather this storm like so many others.
Yeah, it does. It looks incredible. I spent some time looking over YouTube videos and looking at gameplay footage, and I'd seen it before, but man, it just pops. It looks great. It looks like it's such a well-polished game. But as far as a take on how it plays out and who's in the right here, it's just, I think it's impossible to say because I'm so detached from it. So I'll probably refrain from making comments on it because I don't know, right? I just know that like when the sides are so opposite like that, something not good's happening. Someone's doing something dirty or someone's lying. I don't know. And so you have to wait and see how these things play out. I'm always rooting for the good guys and can't wait to see who that is in this case.
Huda, again, the media today, you just got to make your take without knowing anything about it.
Like, this guy's way too even keeled. Way too even keeled. I don't know.
So immediately, like, we talk about the caravan concept. I'm going to be very brief with this. We talk about the caravan concept of it being in Web3, the Wild Wild West. This is like an Indian attack, right? This is like an attack on the caravan. If you're going through the Wild West trying to get to Oregon, I'm using a very specific example. You get very tense. Like if you're exposed to this, like it's very rushed. We couldn't even take the money out of Shrapnel. So I'll tell you just personally, I did not sell any of my Shrap token almost because I couldn't over there on the decks on Avalanche. I did sell Shrapnel operators, but then I got back in because basically what happened was there was a brief sell-off. I'll say brief, maybe like a 12-hour sell-off. And you can see it's already bounced back to 0.23. So almost back to the pre-announcement level on the NFT side. The token itself is at 0.18, so 0.18, almost 18 cents. We'll see where that kind of levels off. So it was just a rush over the last 24 hours, and we've been dealing with it. But yeah, I'm back in on operators. I cannot watch this train leave on operators, and it would just hurt me too much. So I got chopped up a little bit. I had to pay some gas. And lost, not that much, but I'm back in on operators.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to use this moment to sign off, fellas. Keep the work good work going, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Good luck with the Command A, bro.
Thank you, brother.
All right, Biggie Poppins. Peace out, brother. All right, we will take this time to move on into another game. So you guys saw the thumbnail. Illuvium launched yesterday on Epic Games. I was able to hop into this one, and I know we had a question earlier from X-Man saying, first of all, when is the game going live? Is it live already? Yes. Questions are, how do you buy the game and download it from the Illuvium website? So if you go to Illuvium's Twitter profile or X profile, you can see a couple posts where they actually link out to the Epic Games Store, or you could just go to Epic Games and download this game. It's free. You can hop in right now. I was hopping in with Prodigy last night. I could pull up some gameplay from that. But overall, man, and I definitely like Prodigy being more of a traditional gamer. Again, I hate that term, but just a gamer that's not as much into Web3 as us degens. And he really liked the game. He had a comment earlier, I believe, as well. ILV game was fun AF to experience and learn on the spot. So that's what you want to see. They've been building forever. They finally got this TFT auto battler out, and it was good. I want to go back tonight and play it. So that little experience. So we have Rodon here saying, can you earn any tokens at the moment? Like, explain the tokenomics aspect of this particular game, because I know you've got a bag of Illuvium. I think you said you should have been staking and you haven't been. Like, what's the play here? Why are you bullish on this? Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on the game earning mechanics because I don't really know that much. So they do have a staking feature where you can stake ILV, and it's kind of dynamic. So if you lock it for 2 years, you can get X amount APY versus if you lock it for a month. So they have a staking feature for ILV that's basically just a DeFi platform there. I don't know about the staking or the earning from this game. I need to hop into Illuvium. I do have that bag that's staking just in DeFi, like a DeFi app basically, but I don't know about the earnings. So yesterday was basically, let me hop in and see if this game's even any fun.
This is so meta, watching you watch yourself.
Very meta.
Talk about a game.
So again, that TFT auto battler concept, there's a lot to take in as you first play it, but really if you look at this compared to TFT that Riot Games has put out, it's way better. It's probably not as polished on the UI of like clicking and things that, just feeling like absolutely buttery when it comes to the game, but you can go around the map. The 3D figures are in Unreal Engine, so it feels way better. Like that part of it looks way nicer.
Okay.
Huda, you got anything on Illuvium?
It's a good looking game. I just know they're OGs, and I think that much time put into the game, building it out and polishing it and developing the systems, I have no doubt in my mind it's nothing but the highest quality, very much like Parallel. So I'm super bullish on this, and the people I know who have been, I guess, following it and a part of that ecosystem for years now, they speak so highly of it. So yeah, I wish I was in this early because it looks like a monster, really.
Prodigy saying, was fun learning and trying different builds, was truly a good feeling that I haven't gotten from a Web3 game thus far. So, all right, seems like positive reviews. That's good.
Definitely.
I'll say that if you're sitting there and you're waiting for Gifted to get hyped about a Web3 game, it needs to be a shooter. It needs to not be a trading card game or a TFT game. And I totally get it, dude. I totally get that concept.
No, dude, just give me fucking Rocket League, bro.
Yeah,
that's all I fucking need. Or dude, a legit. Okay, the holy grail would be if a like EA level, Ubisoft level studio could partner with FIFA and create, or NBA, or NFL, one of the biggest sports leagues in the world, but probably soccer. I mean, let's be honest, or real football. If they could partner with them to license the FIFA brand and create an actual high quality sports game that also was like tied into the collectible trading cards and like the FUT stuff, FIFA Ultimate Team and all that shit. That to me would be the fucking holy grail, because that is like basically what like Parallel does. Like you collect the different cards, the players, and then you can plug those into the game and get rewards for utilizing those collectibles of the cards of the players in different ways and the different characters. Dude, if you can do that with fucking fantasy sports, and then like it, dude, and if you can layer in the DeFi gambling aspect on top of that, shit.
Yep, dude, absolutely. I think that is a perfect holy grail, and I think the other obvious one is like Grand Theft Auto. Like Grand Theft Auto, just own your cars, own your apartments, own the weapons and skins and all that stuff, and have this whole 10, 20 year long, economy. Man, that changes everything.
Rodan's coming through here and saying, is there any reason for us to play it from a token perspective? Can you earn any tokens? I would love to revisit that question maybe in a day or two. So like I'll come back tomorrow. I'll do my sleuthing. I like the game, so I'm going to be playing it tonight, but I really need to get to the bottom of the play to earn concept other than the other things they have set up. I know they have like land right now that you could be farming for use in the game. The other thing I will say, guys, and I'll kind of show this off here. You can barely see it, but Ascendant is the TFT battler. That's the arena that we're talking about. There's a couple other game modes that I haven't tried out. There's ranked within Ascendant. There's ranked, casual, and custom. Overworld here up in the top. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right next to arena. That's going to be the open world concept where very much like think third person Pokemon. You're going out to catch these things that are battling on the screen here in just a moment, and you're bringing them back into the arena, much like Pokemon. So that's the real vision of this game, is to pair the open world concept with a TFT battler.
I didn't realize they were doing that. That's incredible. Like now I'm completely won over as far as I need to play it.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, okay. First of all, Kivotos saying another Web3. Greetings from the other side of the Atlantic. Hey, greetings to you. Glad you're with us. And yeah, to your point, Q, like you're going to keep following this and giving us more insights into it. So that's a great reason for all of y'all who are interested to stay tuned and subscribe and come back tomorrow. And yeah, I guess my question to you is, you've been grinding Parallel. You've been kind of obsessed with that. And now you've got a new one that you seem optimistic about. Are you going to be taking a break from Parallel? Are you going to still be trying to do both right now? And on that, like, the strategy or direction of trying to be the Web3 Pokemon before Pokemon does it, do you feel like they can actually pull that off? Like, from what you're seeing, does it feel good and interesting and viable enough that with that other world, you know, sort of game, that you're like, oh shit, I think this could actually be like a Pokemon?
Are they going to be the next? I'm thinking. That's such a tough question, man. Like, are they going to be the next World of Warcraft? MMOs are just so incredibly hard that I'm super hyper focused on this arena and my thoughts on that before I can even get to the overworld. I will say that's Huda. That's what sold me on Illuvium when I was talking with Kieran all these years ago. Like, literally playing Illuvium last night was such a weird experience. Just like being able to play the game that they were talking about when they were raising money all the way back in the day. But this is how Kieran explained like a viral moment to me in Illuvium. Just like you see players like getting hyped up over a really cool shot, or let's talk about Rocket League, or like they make a cool play. Imagine a streamer out in the overworld and he runs into the Mew, or like the rarest Pokemon or Illuvial there, and you have to like battle it and try to capture it. It might run away, but imagine that is the rarest Illuvial in the game. What do you think that Illuvial would be worth? Maybe $100,000, $200,000. Imagine that viral moment of him either catching the Illuvial or not. Or maybe it gets away. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be super exciting to me.
And I think that is good to think about too, right? Because it's like Pokemon with real world stakes, like, or next level stakes. Cause you know, people who've been gaming, like there's people that still fucking play Pokemon Go like crazy. Cause there is, I think, some kind of market around that, but not like the possible market that you can unlock by actually using Web3 tech and blockchain. Not like this, right? And so that was one of my questions when I initially watched this. I wasn't sort of like, oh, I see the value in watching and the entertainment of this for other people engaging and streaming it a lot. But yeah, when you talk about it like that could actually have that entertainment value that makes it more interesting to be streaming and people to watch, which is, you know, again, it's not the only indicator that matters for the success of a game, but in this attention economy, a lot of games that do well and pick up and sustain are just good because streamers adopt them because of the entertainment value, the replayability, those moments.
100%. And then last anecdote I'll add here is like you can see the team builder, which is going to be the toughest part for me because there's, I think, 252 different Illuvials you can see here. I'm on the screen. You can see the Pokemon concept very clearly here. Like this could easily be a Squirtle that's evolving, right? They have the different 3 evolutions.
Charizard.
There you go, Charizard. So that's just giving you guys a little bit more anecdote. Squirtle, all those Blastoise. Let's see. Meta guy saying character design top notch. Their token went to outer space last bull and I sold it. Congratulations to you, sir. But I have my Illuvium land. Wondering if that will lead to passive income in the future. Yes, I you know, not financial advice. I think that is a good play, probably based on the experience of having a good game. Last thing I'll say on this, because I know I'm being very long-winded. Gif, you were saying, you know, I had that exact thought last night. The fact that like, holy shit, I already am spamming Prime because I'm earning Prime there. I like the game. Now I'm playing Illuvium. How do I separate my time? I don't know, frankly, because this is my first time I've ever had this feeling. I will say, though, that on the GM Web3 morning show, Gifted was talking about best and worst crypto advice and all of this stuff. And I do think that Illuvium Prime is going to be the type of token, like we were talking about on the GM Web3 morning show, where it runs to $8, which is where it's at. It was like $2 3 months ago. and it's going to run to $8, and we're going to say, damn, you know, it went up so much. There's no way.
Wait, which one? You're talking about
Prime.
Shrap?
I'm talking about Prime. Parallel.
You think Prime is going to keep going?
Prime is this cycle's like Illuvium, or this cycle's Axie Infinity. It's going to go to 8. Then it's going to go to 16. Then it's going to go to 35. And we're just going to be sitting here like, what the hell is going on? And I'm gonna hate that I didn't buy it at $8. Like that's I've already resigned.
Guys, I got a boogie. I just wanted to get something in real quick for you. Anyone who is looking at that Ubisoft Champions whatever game, it's not too late to sign up. They were being a little deceptive with that tweet. All it is for eligibility is like making your account, connecting your wallet, that kind of stuff. And when you do, it all lights up green. So it's not too late. You can still sign up.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great day, guys.
I need to go do that right now.
Thanks, Huda.
See you guys.
What a guy. All right.
Yeah, this fully is going to be the BAYC or Illuvium. This Prime is at $8 right now. I have to reply to Marty, who of course came in here with some strong bear energy, which is good. It's good. We appreciate that too. We need all types of energies and perspectives. But the question of, do people really watch other people play video games? I just have to address this briefly, because literally there's entire platforms that have been massively successful on this. YouTube has an entire vertical. Some of the biggest, streamers and YouTubers are all on gaming. Twitch is almost entirely to this day gaming, and has been one of the biggest video streaming platforms in the world. So to like even ask the question is kind of like silly, like if I'm being honest. But if you still don't get it, you just have to think of it this way, right? Growing up, a lot of people play sports, and then they want to go watch people play those things, those activities that they love at the highest level. That's why sports is so big, because people play these games themselves and they want to go champion and watch and see the highest level people do this. There's entertainment value to watching this sport, this activity that you love, performed at the highest fucking levels. It's the same exact concept. A lot of young people now grow up playing video games instead of sports, and they want to go watch their favorite creators and players and gamers and esports athletes perform these things at the highest possible level. So yes, absolutely, people watch this shit. There's obvious reasons why. And it's also can be tremendously entertaining. Some of these games are fun as shit to watch, and some of the people who play them are extremely entertaining. Look at fucking Dr. Disrespect. It's gotta be exhausting being that critical of everything, Marty. It has to be just an exhausting practice. Nick Swerve is saying people watch people play video games. So I like that take. There is a lot of that content on YouTube now.
Nifty
where people
Q,
are like watching
Nifty Q
videos.
Literally just sat here and watched himself playing a video game in front of you all.
Content.
Don't forget.
All right, I'm gonna wrap up this gaming conversation. We're gonna head to OniForce in just a second, but again, I do think that Prime is gonna do that thing. It's gonna, and I'll bring up Illuvium's token as well, because Illuvium did the same thing. The private sale was at, I think, like $10. I think I got in at like $50. Let me see, Illuvium, and it was that last cycle's darling, and to some extent, it kind of still is doing extremely well. Let's see. So here, let's go, zoom out to max chart, and you can see $66 all the way up to probably for a week it was at 1,700 fucking US dollar fiat. That is disgusting.
Yeah, this is looking into this further is a wild chart, because I couldn't believe that the market cap is still where it's at. It's still at almost $500 million market cap.
People don't watch sports. Okay, this is the last thing I'll say, because he's trying to derail the show. Sports is not about exercise. Have you seen people play darts? Like, darts is not exercise, but it's a sport people watch. Bowling is another. Like, get out of here. All right. Yeah. So I think Prime, which has not been around as long, I believe. Like, let me see when the token was launched. Yeah, March 2023. It goes back to here. This chart is gonna like record this segment, not financial advice. $4. We're sitting here at $8. It's gonna be this in 2026.
No,
it's
not going to 1,700.
No. Okay, hold on. No, it's not going to go to 1,700, but it could go to 170. That's what I'm talking about here, man.
Interesting.
It's And I say that, but I'm not buying. I bought Valeria games, by the way, last night, so I'm in on Valeria games.
Oh, you
Cats
did.
Fanatic.
You did get in.
I've been telling everybody. I tell y'all before I actually buy. That's how you know we're actually not fucking grifters.
Nah, not all the time. Most of the time.
What?
Most of the time.
What did I buy? What did I shill after I bought it?
I don't know. I'm sure you're right. I'm trolling, bro. I gotta make some moves. I fucked up already on Shrap. I feel like by getting out when and how I did.
No, that wasn't a bad move.
Could have been worse, I guess. Anyway, all right. What's next? We'll keep it going. Oh, by the way, it does sound like we might have Valeria's CEO or somebody on their team coming on the show
next week. Cats is in the house as well. So that's another advice that we talked about. When someone like just vehemently comes into this show and just shills every day. No, you weren't shilling.
You have to do what they tell you to do and buy what they're shilling.
No, but if they tell you about something, hey man, you should look at that Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, what the hell's Bored Ape Yacht? Well, are they making monkey noises? Hey man, this Bored Ape Yacht Club. And when someone does that, you should probably pay attention. So yeah, it's not too much of an allocation there. Okay, moving on real quick. Parallel does have something coming up. Parallel Planetfall pack opening, which is their second edition of their card set. So it's a really big addition to the just card base in general. So I'm interested to see how that meta changes. That's going to be on December 13th. And then I did have one other piece. I lost it. I'll find it. Don't you worry. Our favorite Oni Force here.
Gotta talk about this.
Our favorite future of cross-web storytelling project here that we freaking love. And we are Trailer Maxis unveiled a little bit more about the community gaming event that's going to be happening in December. Let's watch this shit.
I think it looks great, man. I'm just enjoying like seeing the map come to life. You know what I mean? I love seeing all the different ways that they're incorporating the art, the IP, the characters. I saw like an Oni Force shipping container or shipping truck I hadn't seen in there. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited. This is something that we're going to be talking and covering quite a bit because they're ramping into a bunch of different events and like online tournaments. And really what I would encourage for people to understand is I think this is for casual gamers. I don't think you have to be a hardcore gamer to have fun with this. I think if you have a way to play a game like an Xbox or a PC and you got a gaming controller, this is going to be a fun thing to just hop in over the holidays and, you know, get in some rounds, not take it seriously. Maybe you win some rewards. They are doing really legit rewards. So it is like a tournament style, but I just think it's going to be fun to do this.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You can see they're also partnering with some other gaming projects or like some other NFT projects crossover with Valhalla. So they're very much leaning in to this gaming narrative, man. And in Fortnite in particular, I'm interested to see where this fits in the broader scheme, because I think Jawa was the one that brought up, hey, they're doing multiple things. But really what you're hearing Star-Lord talk about in a lot of the project right now is heavily focused on Fortnite and telling the story through that medium.
Yeah, it's definitely a big focus right now for Oni. And we want it to succeed for sure.
Couple questions I have. Quantum Variant saying it doesn't look like there's Oni characters. I think
the actual like skins, I think he's referring to.
I think the Oni map is the storytelling, not the characters themselves.
Yeah, I don't actually know if they're planning any skins or things like that. That's a fair question. It'd be good to know that. But you can definitely see a lot of the characters in the map and the build out of the world for sure.
Okay, a couple other points. Here's my other question to the chat. Because we have Cats Fanatic, and it looks like Rodan is another one who's on top of his game here. A lot of guys really getting after it here with meta guys talking about Mad Lad and also Tensorians. Valeria, I bought the token, and I understand there's going to be some staking that's going to be like obviously yielding the token. Is the token the way to go? Because you guys are talking about Valeria land. Should I be buying Valeria land instead of the token? I'm interested in that. That might be the more prudent play.
Yeah, we've been talking about opportunity cost a lot here, and like where's the places to get into these gaming worlds. I'm sure it's a little bit different for them all. Buying land in general for me is just a hard sell at the moment, because that was so overhyped with so many different metaverse projects in the past, and we've seen kind of what happens with those when the balloon deflates. And we know that NFTs are much less liquid than tokens. So for me personally, myself, while yes, I am interested in the operators, because we've seen how pairing that utility with the in-game like rewards and things that Prime is doing with the avatars, it can be a very powerful mix. So I'm interested, and I might try and get some operators still for that reason. But for most of these games, I'm looking at the token specifically because of the opportunity cost of getting locked into NFTs, of not knowing where they're going to go, and then not having liquidity at all there.
I think it's a fair criticism, gift, but also I want to push back on the timeline of that. The last land sales that really got pushed, middle-ish of the bull. This is like ramping into a bull. So if you can buy land that's staking and yielding, and then we haven't even hit a bull market yet, that might be a little bit different.
But like we can look at like so many of those different projects that were at the like leading that whole movement. Even, I mean, dude, you can even look at fucking other deeds, for example. But like Sandbox, Decentraland, Voxels. Remember Voxels, crypto Voxels? Mm-hmm. Dude, like these were trading at crazy premiums during that bull market, and not like they're not doing hot at all right now. And are you thinking that all of those types of plays, the land plays for all these different games, to be fair, there's probably more utility or more value within a game than a lot of them had. I'll give you that. But do you think that they go as crazy, and that this metaverse land sale meta takes off the same way that it did in the last market?
The only thing I will say about this combo that we're having is I think the timelines are a little bit different, right? If you're buying into a land sale at the pico top of 2021 or late 2021 or early 22, you're going to get screwed on the liquidity because everything's going down. Right now, GIF, I would say that we're betting on everything going at least volume, liquidity, maybe price up during this bull market. Do you see what I'm trying to get at? You're kind of you're saying the right thing about what happened. The thing is, we're in a different timeline. If you buy land before a bull market, you might have the opportunity to both yield the token and sell in the midst of a bull. You see, that's the only thing I'll say. I do agree with you though. Like land is much less liquid, and therefore like you can get stuck in that shit very quick.
But I do understand what you're saying. The opportunity right now is different than where we're at in the cycle really matters. And the fact that a lot of these lands yield different ways, have different utilities attached to them, can compound whatever gains they're getting. I see it. I'm still very wary. And I think I guess what I'm trying to say is I think a lot of people will probably be pretty wary of land sales given what's happened. And so I just don't know that I see the land idea getting to the same levels of hype, but I could also be wrong. Again, if you find the right product market fit, if you find the right utility in the right game or something comes along, like that can spur a whole new fucking obsession, and all it takes is like one or two big ass fucking projects to take off. And then all of a sudden land's hot again, it becomes a whole fucking meta.
All right, so now that we got like 3 or 4 people talking about Valeria, so this is an interesting little bit of info here. I guess, look, I'm going to move on from this. This is what we're talking about, by the way. I'll drop the Valeria Studios in X. My question to y'all who clearly have more info on Valeria, yes, the land is 100% going to yield the token, but right now, I guess maybe the more prudent way to get into the ecosystem then is buying the land. That's what I'm asking y'all, not financial advice. I just spot bought the token. Like I'm just buying the token. I might be better suited buying the land, but it's a nuanced question. Anyways.
Katz is saying land is absolutely the long-term play. Buying Val is the short-term play.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, we'll have more information when we talk to the founder next week. Let's get to some other pieces here before we round out the episode. GIF. I'm super interested in your thoughts on Portal for sure. I do have this Inspect. So InspectXYZ announced a large funding round. You can see backed by a lot of larger individuals as well as investment firms here. That you can see Axie's involved, Algorand, MoonPay, Polygon Ventures. A lot of bigger projects here. So Inspect is going to be a bigger player, I think, here in the bull. And congrats to that team. I need to see how much they actually raised. Zeneca, 9gag. So maybe it looks like this is the final message in the thread, and that there is no authorized Inspect contract in existence. But do we get an Inspect token here?
Yeah,
So,
well, they already teased that. We've
Yeah.
already covered that. They've
You're
teased that. They even showed the like graphic. The 3D rotating coin. It exists. So yeah, that's going to be another interesting one to watch. I do have an Inspect account, or I've attached a couple wallets there. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with it, so I don't know exactly if there's any farming that we can do there. But I do think it's interesting to see like what are the tools that like tooling these analytics platforms that are like ramping up. You mentioned Nansen is coming back too. Like that,
Nansen
I know that was apparently a big tool that a lot of successful traders were using. I think it could be really smart for us to kind of maybe just do like a show that we focus on like what are the best tools, like how are we going to set ourselves up as traders or speculators, if we were to speckle, if we were to do some speckling, like how would we go about doing that? It might be good to just like be trying to figure out a process, all that type of stuff.
No, I think you're right. I think Nansen's going to be one that I definitely want to get more involved into. By the way, Gifted just mentioned Nansen too. I'll drop that link there in the chat.
Left Action House trolling us, trolling me today, but it's saying my fear in buying the land makes him want to buy it more. It might be a good move.
I'm gonna check out this. We're diving deeper into Valeria. That's all I'll say. All right, we're taking a hard left turn before the episode ends here. We have a Jerry Saltz and Refik Anadol round 2. Jerry Saltz is a Pulitzer Prize art critic, I believe.
It's just a critic. I think it's primarily art, but yeah, okay. He got the Pulitzer Prize for criticism, basically.
Okay, which is an absolutely wild statement and sentence. But round 1 occurred when basically Jerry called out Refik Anadol's Winsy Yao Now for being a glorified screensaver. Now we have him coming back for round 2 because he can't stop just trolling Refik, just trolling the space. I guess we're doing something right if he's going to be coming back every a week or two talking about Rafik's work. But he's saying this is why the so-called digital innovators in art 2023
oh my god
art's business powers list is contemplate, misguided, and meaningless. Only one woman named, and she is in her 90s. Totally white bro culture. Get out or begin again, please. We don't have to cover it. We can totally jump into Portal Coin. It's way more on brand of this episode.
Look, man, we can always like be more inclusive. Like I think that most of us actually try pretty hard. At least we do. Like we've always tried to be inclusive. The truth is that a lot of the people in the space happen to be white men. And so a lot of the people that have like, you know, been quote unquote leaders of the biggest projects or companies happen to be white men. And like, that doesn't mean that like, we're not all supporting. Like, dude, look at what fucking, look at what, DeGods is doing right now for women. Like there is actually a lot of affirmative action, if you want to put it that way, to not like, there's literally like, we go out of our way. I myself have shelled out of my own pocket multiple different times in a lot of different ways to try and support women in Web3 events and movements. We as a network have done so. So I think that this is kind of, again, on his part, very one-sided, because it takes away from the fact that actually I think most people in the space are going out of their way to invite and try and be inviting. Yes, I'm sure you can find exceptions, and there's shitty behavior and there's shitty people in there too. We fucking know that. But again, to like not actually do a deep dive to understand that like a lot of people are trying very, very fucking hard to not just like be friendly, but actually like work to like bring more women in the space or be friendly or promote them or give them stages and voices. Like you just miss all of that, bro. Like, sure, there's fucking bro culture, but like just to say that on its face that everyone that's a white man that isn't doing enough and they're all fucking bad and you shouldn't have this whole new innovative industry that you're working so hard to innovate on because of your skin and your gender that you don't have any choice on. Dude, no, like let's be clear. There is fucking actually like these are not things that these people can choose. Like that list of people on that list, they probably deserve some level of recognition for what they achieved. I haven't looked at it. Maybe there's some dumb ones in there, but I'm sure that like they've done something, worked hard at their lives, and they were not able to choose how they were fucking born, dude. Just remember that. They weren't able to choose that.
Here's the list, by the way.
Dude, is Refik a white man? Like, also, like maybe he is just a white man. I thought he was, you know. Anyway, I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
like I think if you actually pick this apart a little bit further, there's probably a fair amount of diversity in who these people are and where they come from.
As is a lot of the conversations we have on NFT Live and like just on our stages on X. Like, there's a lot of sides to these conversations and a lot of ways we could go about it. My one complaint about this whole entire critique process is like, it's very just shallow. It doesn't feel like he's taking any time to try to understand the space, to try to understand the things that he's critiquing, which has been my problem since the beginning. When you call Refik Anadol's work a glorified screensaver, it's very like, that is a take I could find at any street corner from a person who has no understanding. And you'd think someone who's a Pulitzer Prize critic would go a little bit deeper and try to find some nuanced way to talk about the concept. And it's the same thing with this round too.
It's so fucking reductive and dismissive. Again, his whole thing has been so dismissive. This is so fucking dismissive of these people, of their work, of the entire fucking movement and space. And it's infuriating, man. It really is, because he doesn't actually have any fucking clue.
This one's interesting too, though, because the whole Web3 space got behind Refik for the most part. Like, there were some people that were like, "Look, you got to have people that disagree with you." Dude,
it was Mo Runda, a woman. By the way, it was a woman who initially came and told us how great Refik is and that we should check out his work. Does that matter, or like should that matter? I don't know. Like, does it matter that the person that recommended this man to us was a woman? Like, is that important, dude? Like literally, does that fucking matter? The fixation and like seriously, we are so fucking fixated on this like chewing each other to death over your fucking race and your gender right now.
Yeah.
And it is fucking bullshit.
He really touched on something that Web3 is dealing with themselves, which is the difference between this round and last round. Last round, we all got behind Refik and we were all like, screw this guy for the most part. This one is like, oh, you're touching on a feature or something that is being discussed in Web3 and felt by a lot of people in the community.
Okay, so I'll draw a parallel here. When people like him, by the way, like same type of people, the literati of the art world, right? The self-proclaimed geniuses who know best, the gatekeepers, really, the would-be wannabe gatekeepers, when they were all flipping out at crypto art, calling it a crime against humanity because it was so bad for the environment, they really did not take the time to dive in and actually understand what was happening in the community and know that the people in Web3, within crypto, within blockchain, were the people trying to actively solve these problems. Like, these are the technologists who deeply care about changing the world around us and who are the ones creating new technology that actually creates more efficient operations and systems. So literally, you don't understand that this is the beginning, and everybody in here is trying to solve these problems, and this is how we get to the future with more efficiency that's better for the environment, that actually like is way better than like shipping off a bunch of canvases on planes around the world. By the way, it's like, dude, you don't fucking take any time to actually understand, for instance, that people in Web3, generally speaking, do care about inclusivity, diversity, about changing the world in meaningful ways, and are putting in a lot of fucking time and effort to try and find more ways to be more inclusive, to onboard different communities, to teach technology to all different types of people and figure out systems and plans to do this. Like, anyway, dude, this type of shit fucking infuriates me, bro.
And I want to go a little bit positive here and highlight an artist that I'm really, have good feelings about and is doing great things and is really getting the attention she deserves in the space as well. Jimena Buenavida, who is a friend of the network and been one of your close friends for a long time, and I really do feel like she's having a great 2023. So there are female artists that are winning. Of course, we need to have more.
Claire Silver.
Claire Silver, there's a ton, and
Jessica Yatrovsky doing amazing things.
It's tough to have the conversation around the dynamic and the frankly the demographic of the people that are in this space, because that list is probably an accurate ratio of the amount of people that are in the space. If there's 10 people and there's one woman, that's probably the right ratio of the amount of people that are in this space. It's just, how do you have the conversation around making sure that we platform the right people, and I say the right people. Jimena, regardless of her sex, is fucking an awesome artist. Like, it has nothing to do with that. I just really like her work.
No, exactly. It has nothing to do with gender at all, really. It really doesn't, or it shouldn't to this level. And the fact that you're trying to say that like there has to be some required ratio of race and gender in order to have any sort of valid list in an ecosystem and an industry that you, sir, clearly do not know fucking anything about.
This is him sharing off an article, by the way. This is exactly what he wants.
Exactly. I think he's just farming all of us because like clearly look how fucking it makes him more relevant. But dude, this guy is a fucking tool bag in my opinion, frankly, because I'm pretty sure he's also a white male. And I'm just saying, it's just like, dude, you have literally, if okay, let's do the research here. If somebody can confirm Jerry Saltz is a white male real quick.
It looks like it.
Yes, this is a white, old male, old, rich boomer male. You, sir, have literally used your own privilege to benefit yourself your entire fucking life. Your entire life. And now to turn around and shit on a bunch of people who are working their asses off to try and build their own careers simply because they are white men is fucking astonishing. Dude, it's like, dude, the hubris and hypocrisy, sir. Like, bravo. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't a conversation when he was trying to make a name for himself. That was the thing.
yeah, I bet. Yeah, what if people had come out and basically said, like, you know what? I think that the New Yorker has too many white males on its criticism board. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to like scrap you out of here.
Yeah, he would not like it then. All right, we Prodigy's asking Gift to chill, daddy. So we are gonna move on. I will say that this is a great representation of exactly what he wants. So this is probably gonna be the last time we talk about Jerry Saltz, at least on this network or on this show. It might come up on GM Web3. I don't know, but for sure, this is the last time I want to talk about him on NFT Live. Look, we're at an hour and 9 minutes. Portal coin is not. I'm gonna fade Portal coin. Like I from the start, I'm just fading it. I hope y'all make a bag on it. I hate that it's like these. There's a couple projects that like invade your timeline, right? They use these like marketing tactics where like you are incentivized very blatantly to, you know, write the ticker or talk about it, and you get rewarded for doing so. I don't think Get Reach went that far. There wasn't like a bunch of Get Reach posts out there. It was more just like using an interesting way to get you to already do what X allows you to do and wants you to do. This is just blatant. Like Portal is just all over your timeline. I'm going to fade it to existence. And I know Jonah also talked about it being them claiming they're going to be the Steam of Web3 or something like that. But anyways.
Okay. What I like about it is that they are utilizing X and social media with SocialFi in a unique gamified way. And I've actually really appreciated like what Reach does. And I think Reach is really smart. That's why I've been kind of farming on Reach and using that. So I think that is good and smart, like what they're doing. To your point, I think that the way that they're doing it is just, it's just not as interesting. So Reach basically rewards you for engaging with other people, basically, right? So just by being active with good engagement, healthy engagement, supporting other people's posts, doing things like that, you get rewarded with Reach. This is all about shilling themselves, right? And so that's the difference to me. It's not about like supporting the community as much or even yourself as much as this feels like it's literally just, hey, pump the shit out of our stock and maybe you'll get something out of this. So it does feel a little bit shittier. And my bigger feeling, like I'm gonna check this out, and honestly I might farm it a little bit because I don't just want to fade it because it seems a little bit gross, even though I probably will end up fading it because I my stomach for this type of stuff is not very big. But
there's also some rumblings, Gift, of creeps being attached to, and Kat's actually brought this up here in chat as well. Have you heard the talk that Portal is connected with creeps? Creeps is up 100% here in the last 7 days. So yes, I have been seeing that connection, but no confirmations by Portal or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay, what I was gonna say is that the thing that I don't like about this, and really the Blast thing too, and any of these like gamified SocialFi things that are just about like trying to get you to promote the shit out of them and annoy the fuck out of your friends and Ponzu and you know, is that I didn't come into this space to be part of an MLM. I didn't, and that's what this feels like to me. Is that everybody is just jumping on to the next Herbalife. Like every fucking week there's a new MLM and everybody's just jumping onto the next one. And that's to me the more shitty aspect right now of this whole farming culture, is that like it is exciting, there is opportunities, and so I don't want to fade it entirely. But I just hope that we can graduate to a place where we don't focus so much of our time on certain sort of shitty hype tactics. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be so hopeful, because that's what like literally how social media fucking works, man. And I mean the whole so much of the last cycle was literally just hype cycles. It was just hype. And unfortunately, I think like what I'm battling with and trying to come to terms with is that like to survive and thrive in this space, like you kind of have to fucking love that. You kind of have to like the hype cycle a little bit. This
is my 3rd cycle now, and there's people with 5 cycles, all that stuff. And my that's the way it just is. You know what I mean? Like when I hear takes on GM Web3 that are like, you know, I want the product before the token and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, you're not in the right spot. You know, like
that's just not the strategy that's working. And this is where it's
Ethereum existed like that. There was a fucking token before all of this.
Exactly.
Everything that we do every day, there was an Ethereum token before it.
That's how funds are raised for the build of a lot of these things. And I think, you know, you do a good job of, I think, balancing or talking about the fact that we need people who are willing to push boundaries as leaders and innovators in the space, despite regulatory uncertainty, right? Because the truth is that this space is about innovative technology and new systems and models, and our regulatory systems are way outdated. And so the reason why I bring that up is because it's just a metaphor or an analogy for this, right? Which is that in this space, the old models of how things should work are usually not how they actually work. And so it can be hard sometimes to understand, because a lot of times it literally doesn't make sense, or there's nothing that you can point to for why certain things should operate the way that they do.
Yeah.
Because they are literally like, these are new models being developed in real time. These are new experiments. These are actual innovations and novel new ideas that are being proven out right in front of our eyes. And you have the opportunity to participate in some of them. Some of them are going to end up going to fucking zero. A lot of them are going to go to zero. Some of them are going to literally be the next fucking Amazon. It's going to be the next Ethereum. It's going to be the thing that changes the world somehow. But Blast is an excellent example, right? Because I think Ethereum's a great example, but Blast is an excellent example. There's no L2 there. But I'm not gonna fully count out Pac-Man just because they don't have the L2 ready just yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I also think Blast is offering yield. So as much as I'm shitting on it, being like, yo, if there's 600 mil in there, how much is your 2 G's in ETH, or like 1 ETH going to get you? You're still earning 4% on that ETH. Like it's there it is. And on that chain, you will earn a percentage of fees just by holding the token, which is a little bit of a novel idea.
It's just opportunity cost, right?
Yeah. Then it comes back down to that. Squashman saying exactly, law and regulation move extremely slow, which conflicts with the fast-paced development of tech and shifting nature of culture.
Well said.
There's no space that moves faster. It's just that it's that simple. Whenever I think eventually all of us, if you're out there, eventually I think you will leave the space. I do think that this is a caravan that has really no end, and it will just continue to go on. And eventually you're going to leave the space. That day is going to be super interesting because there's no industry that can match the pace. Like, what is that going to feel like? Maybe AI and tech will get to a point where it is like that.
Tech in general. The only other place is just going into like normal tech or like, but here's the thing is that all of this subsumes underneath tech. Like in the future, this is part of the tech industry. You know, I mean, it is, but also like becomes a core part of just technology in general. And we all know, like, I think it's just a symptom of, is it Moore's law? Like what's the law where tech is exponential? I think that this is just a symptom of, is it Metcalfe's law? Dude, like, I think what we're seeing is literally just a symptom of these larger laws at play that like technology is speeding up. And like, you're either part of that or you're like, where are you on the adoption curve? You're on the curve somewhere, no matter what. There's a curve. We love the bell curve. And literally everybody exists on the technology adoption curve. because at a certain point, technologies become ubiquitous and you're forced to adopt them. So every single one of us adopts a lot of these technologies and these protocols, but where are you on that curve?
One of y'all knows it.
That's the question.
One of y'all in chat knows the law we're talking about. I don't think it's Moore's, and I don't think it's Metcalf's. Metcalf's is the network piece. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that meme the other day, GIF, but there was the adoption curve.
It's Moore's law. I think I got it right. Yeah, I got it right. I got it right.
You sure?
I know what I'm talking about.
Like
yeah, exponential growth is at the heart of rapid increase of computing capabilities. That's the network.
The number of transistors in a computer chip doubles every 2 years. Okay.
That's
all right.
I know what I'm saying sometimes.
There's a couple different things I want to share. I'm completely off base here, but the Star Atlas is getting front and center, by the way, on Portal. This is very interesting that they're just using all of Star Atlas's piece. But yeah, you can see they're trying to do some type of Steam.
It's like one of the best game trailers.
It's true. They do a good fucking trailer. So. Yeah, you're not wrong. All
sense.
Right. I had something else on the Portal discussion, but I think we just got down so many rabbit holes.
Prodigy. This is there's a lot of rabbit holes. We're like already over time here. But Prodigy asking, isn't the whole reason we wanted to decentralize was to avoid the law and control of government?
Ish.
You can't, but like you can push.
You want to do that with money. You 100% want to do that with money.
You can decentralize certain things. I think though there's a larger conversation to be had around this idea of like disruptive rebellious movements, because I've seen some people in the space that cloak themselves very heavily in this, like, I'm a rebel, I'm here to disrupt, like, we're not here for mainstream adoption, like, fuck all that. But the truth of it is that most rebellions have a point and a purpose. It's because you're trying to fix something or change the existing systems. That's why you rebel. Either that or you're purely nihilistic. This is a whole other conversation. There's nihilism where it's you just say fuck the world, like let's all drink purple Kool-Aid and burn down everything. Or there's like legitimate
anarchism,
anarchy, or there's legitimate rebellious movements because they're fighting against an idea with a new idea. They have a new idea. And what happens is that if you have a legitimate idea and argument, a legitimate movement, it takes root and those seeds grow over time. And then that becomes the mainstream. And then you have to move on. And you have new things fight against. So this idea that no, we're only here to fucking like be the rebels and disrupt. You're a rebel without a cause. You're a fucking nihilist. Like, no, this is we are trying to revolutionize and change certain systems through this technology so that this becomes adopted more broadly. Like, that is literally the point here, is that we want to disrupt existing fucking systems to get towards better paradigms and better systems. And so, yes, like, sure, live in your world where like success looks like just a niche little bubble of people trading the same, wash trading back and forth for eternity. Sure, go live in that delusion.
Yeah, we're getting super existential on today's episode here. We're going to hop off here in just a moment. Look, the idea of this industry was created through Bitcoin. You should have the separation of money and in some ways that completely separate from the government, right? Like, that was the idea around Bitcoin. The thing is, the tech has gotten so much more developed since those days that there's all these different products that now exist today. And does everything need to be completely decentralized? I think would be the argument that these people on the other side are saying, like, no, we need actual products that are, to the masses, that are controlled somewhat by laws and regulations, which does not include, in my opinion, Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin does not need to come under this umbrella of regulation. It simply doesn't. The fact that it does is because of just its properties. People want to hold it. So the more people that hold it, the government's like, shit, we have citizens that are holding this. We need to somehow bring it under the rules and laws. So it's a nuanced question is what I'm getting at, Prodigy, because there's different products now.
I'll just say this. I don't want to throw out capitalism. I want to update it. I don't want to throw out democracy, even though we don't really have democracy really here. I want to update it. I want to change the world towards more equitable systems and paradigms and more decentralized systems and paradigms. But there is no, like, I'm not delusional enough to believe that there is a scenario where you just have fully decentralized Web3 out here existing on its fucking own. Dude, so much of it literally exists on Amazon, like, web servers. There is no Web3. There is no decentralization without the rest of the world somehow bridging to that. Like, you cannot just exist on a fucking island out here by yourself. Like, it doesn't exist, dude. Like, so anyway, the point is you have to have bridges back. You have to have ways to onboard and bring people in and out. There has to be a free-flowing economy of some sort, and there has to be options for people to come in and out. Like, you have to have all of this. You have to have Web 2 and Web 2.5 to get to Web 3.
This is why Uniswap was such a big innovation. The fact that you had those double-sided pools and they created that platform, because now you can instantly trade between each other without a centralized exchange. That was a huge moment in the history of transacting money on the internet. Yeah, we're getting super existential. I do think GIF. The one thing I will say that I don't think is pushing back, but it's more just adding context. What happens with this caravan that we like to reference all the time is you go. You maybe settle for a little while and then you move on. And that's what's happened with this industry. The people that want to be extremely risky and extremely decentralized have set up these silos that people then take and build on top of. And then they move, and then those other people that started it move on, or maybe a new group moves on and innovates further. So I think where the decentralization, the risk, all this stuff, it just continues to move forward into the periphery. You know what I mean? Not where maybe it started, but forward.
Yeah. Look, Prodigy, shout out to you asking great questions, getting us tilted and in our bags. Absolutely. But yeah, eventually we all just pivot to AI. Look, that's
true. Then we all end up there.
That's where it all ends up in the long run.
All right. We are ending today's episode. I'm going to try to get it off before the hour and 30 mark, so a little bit longer today. We appreciate y'all joining in. We did have Huda. We had Biggie Poppins, who is doing his show right now, I believe, Command A. So we might be able to hop over
to that
and catch the end of that. A lot of stuff happening here. We're going to be watching the Grapes pre-sale this week. Portal Coin, which we kind of dove into and then got diverted into a philosophical discussion, which is always fine. It's fine.
That's good.
But GIF, let's head out, man. You'll have the last words. Guys, OVOT, appreciate it. Leave a like before you head out here, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, man. OVOT. Appreciate all of y'all. If you would like to generate some awesome coffins artwork, you can still do that. I'll drop that link in the chat for y'all. Big love to those who have already been playing with the generator, but you can see here 847 minted. Absolutely fucking phenomenal. I honestly can't believe it. And I know we're trying to wind down here, but yeah, I'm going to drop that link over in the chat and would love for y'all to go check it out. And that's it. Our vibe, our tribe. Appreciate all y'all.